think we're live. I think we're good. Let's see. I got my laptop. Yep. Alrighty. I can see me. Now, we have landscape as an option. Is portrait an option? That's the next thing to figure out. Welcome everyone today to our first ever IRL live stream. The landscape is an option. Is it an option now, however, with the apparatus I'm using to stream this? No, I don't think it is. That's alright. This looks okay. Better for our mobile viewers today. I know you have people who prefer to watch it on their mobile devices rather than on their PCs, and today this is for you because this is going to be a purely portrait live stream. Not a landscape. 3 viewers already. Well, thank you guys for hopping in. Great to see everyone. I'm sorry we're a little bit late, and if I appear a little bit disheveled, it's because Given was supposed to be my cameraman today, and he got a sinus infection yesterday. So I haven't had much time to figure out how to make the necessary adjustments. He was supposed to hold the camera. He was supposed to read the questions. So instead I got my laptop over here on my left, depending on your perspective, left facing the kitchen. And I got we have our janky camera stand, which is great. Any damage that happens to my phone, that's also Given's fault. I have my questions over there, and then behind me we have my lovely kitchen. So we got the stovetop, I got the cutting board, I got all the utensils out, all our lovely HelloFresh ingredients. My fridge is over there. I think I got everything I need out of it. The only thing you won't really be able to see is the sink over that way, but I'll be within view for the most part when I get over there. So, hello everyone, welcome. Let's see who's here. I'm gonna go over to. Actually, I think I can only see who's there and there. So say hello if you're here. I can't see you. Once again, Twitch on the phone is not the same as Twitch on the computer. There's a reason I restream on there for the most part. But anywho, I will stream as though you were all here because that's the job, right? So today we are doing our much anticipated HelloFresh Q&A. I have a wonderful recipe for us today. It is shepherd's pie. I'm so excited. If you don't like shepherd's pie, I don't know how to help you. Maybe our next sponsor can be a therapy provider. Get some better help involved here. A little bit of a glare from that thing. I should probably turn that off. I don't know. Let's see if it's not too dark. Hello, PB. How's this? Ooh, I kind of like the vibe, honestly. It's nice and snowy outside. Yeah, I think we'll rock this. This is good. Yeah, I have a shepherd's pie recipe I'm really excited to make with the lovely fresh HelloFresh ingredients that came earlier this week. Everything came out of that bag right over there. Bag within a box. Can you see the bag? Yeah, you can kind of see the bag. It's on the edge of the screen. So when they send you a box, you get it in a very nice, you get in a very nice box that's insulated on the inside. It comes with an ice pack, so everything is well taken care of. Especially this time of year, heck, it's winter. But the box is really nice. I've reused the box just recently. My family has a homestead here. We had a few cows go to slaughter, and I had to get some people some beef, and so I was able to reuse that HelloFresh box to help travel it over long distances. So it's just a nice thing to have. It's a great thing that they do for the customer. And then everything within there comes in these nicely separated bags. So each of your recipes has a bag associated with it. The only thing separate from that is going to be the meat, but that's also specifically labeled and has its own little plastic package. I've already gone and taken everything out other than our fresh veggies are in here. All our other ingredients are right over there. I have also, a box comes with these very nice recipe cards, which, by the way, if you have any friends who are interested in HelloFresh, when you get the box, sometimes they come with these recipe cards, but it comes with other things like these free promotional materials. So give your friends a free box, for example. You have 3 coupons for that. So when you pay for the $35 box you get by using my code, you're really getting, it's for 4 different people, but you're getting 4 boxes for that $35. Each person getting like 6 servings each. But yeah, so what did we do with our 6 servings this week? So I ordered a couple other recipes, but the one we're cooking today, like I said, is the shepherd's pie. Really excited about that. Comes with this nice card. But it isn't just for show. It lists out the ingredients here, so when you're sorting things on your counter, you know what you need. You know what you have. And on the back, it has the instructions for going through it. And also a nice little QR code if you're someone who, sometimes like me, who doesn't know everything in the world about cooking and needs to learn how to do one thing or another. You can go there and you can search as well, like get more in-depth instructions. Today we're just going to be working from the card. I'm pretty confident with this. A little nervous about the onion, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And it also has like a cool, they even threw in some fun things on the side here. So they got something cool about the recipe, both something in the recipe, something cool about the meal itself. It's just a great experience all around. And the prep time for this was, they said about 10 minutes. I'd say that's about accurate. Cook time they advertise is 45 minutes. It's going to be 900 calories, which, you have a lot of variety in HelloFresh. A lot of things are a lot less calorie options. I'm a skinny boy, and I need to maximize as much calories as I can get out of any particular meal. So I'm looking forward to that 900 calories a day. I haven't eaten anything yet, so, which I know that sounds strange for 5 p.m., but streamer life. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. While we're doing that, today is, again, our Q&A live stream. So I will be looking into chat, as people come and go and as they comment, I'll be answering questions people have. I also have over to my side for kind of the interim periods, a set of cards from same company basically. Let's Get Deep is the trademark brand. I got 2 different games from them. One's the Friendship Edition, even throwing in a couple of their couples version for Valentine's Day coming in. We'll have to see. Trying, nothing spicy, but just thought that'd be fun to throw in a couple things, see what's in there, really, to be honest. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm glad to see someone already showing up today, PB. We'll have to see a little bit earlier for Century and KTRB. I'm sure they'll get here. They were talking to me about coming in later. So without further ado, I say let's get cooking. Though, how do we want to do the questions? The amount of time for between each question. So I'll answer questions as they come in. That'll be one thing, and then we'll just go with the flow. So we'll pick a question to start here in a second. Let's get step 1 going. So I got the meat in here, by the way. I partially defrosted it in the fridge. Finished the rest of my microwave. You don't have to. You get it straight out of the box. You can immediately defrost it if it's frozen, or if it's not, you just throw it in the refrigerator. But if you want to, you can also refreeze it. That's what I did, because I'm somewhat of a lazy boy. Still tastes great. So heat broiler to high, wash and dry produce. Okay, so that's going to be some sink stuff. Nice. And then we have to dice potatoes into 1/2 inch pieces. Let me know if you guys can hear me from back over here. Trim, peel, and 1/2 carrot lengthwise. And then we also have the celery and the onion. So we'll get to all of those in this first step. Go over here to the side, and I'm going to start washing some things. Can y'all see me? No, you can't see me. Oh, yes, Century. It's because we're making... Oh, heck yeah, dude. Is that where you are right now? This is the HelloFresh Q&A. I can't be eating dinner at like 6:30. Plus the fact that we're already going to have to deal with like a couple of people walking in my garage door while we're streaming. But try to do it a little bit earlier so we can play games too. Alrighty, got you. Well, thank you for popping in while you're there. That's awesome. Tell the boys I said hello and wish them the best. Oh, yeah. Cheers. So I've already gone through and like properly sanitized everything, but I'm just gonna rewash these a little bit. And part of it that's covered by the whole broiling is already done for me, so we will just do that for time's sake. More precisely, I did that for time's sake earlier. How can y'all hear me with the water running? How is that? Let's see what Sentry said. Just yell a hello at them from chat. Fantastic. Please do. With our hellos said, let me dry my hands off here. I'll leave this paper towel over here so I can come back to that. And I will pull out a card. So, we get the option of doing, with the card game, we have the option of Icebreaker, Deep and Deeper. Let's see if I can get all the way over there. You can see what I'm using to like keep track of the stream over there, but so we got several different decks of cards. So makes sense to start with the Icebreaker. So let's see what we got. Let's see what question they have for me. What is my ideal room temperature? Okay, so we've talked about this on stream many times before. If you are not already aware, I am an absolute freeze baby. Hello, K-Tarby. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to see everyone here. We are in the midst of our Q&A. So I've just now started washing off the ingredients. Having just asked the first question, which was from the card game, not from chat, which I have over there. I have some cards from a card game called Let's Get Deep to kind of keep questions going when people don't have something naturally come to mind. And the question was ideal room temperature. Right. So I am wearing, as you can see, I'm wearing 3 layers right now. I got a nice brown undershirt to go with the over layer. And I am freezing. So this is a Sherpa jacket. It's very, very nice, very, very warm. I wore this to Texas. This is like my Texas comfortable, right? So this is 110 degrees. I was wearing this when I was in Texas earlier this year. I guess last year now, technically. Yikes. Wow. Time flies. But yeah, so I was wearing this back then when I was fine in 110. So what is my ideal room temperature? We're going in the upper 70s. Not as bad as you might think given all that. I'm probably going to be more like 71, 72. Because I need, like, at different parts of the day, it'll change drastically. I don't know. I'm weird. 2.5K short of crunches. Elaborate, please, on the K part. Please explain to me how you are short 2.5 thousand crunches. That is far different than any sort of metric I've had involved. I'm gonna bring the trash can. I'm not gonna show you guys the trash. That'd be a little bit unseemly, but I'll bring it over so that I can be like right here and you can still hear me well. 2.5K short of crunches. What does that mean, Sentry? If you remember me saying that the onion was what I'm nervous about, it's because I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I think I've got it. It's got layers. I know that because I've watched Shrek. 18. Oh, you're talking about making me do crunches live. No! You can. If you want to, go for it. That's what they're there for. I thought we were going to try to get to know me. And they're gonna ask questions, you'd be all nice and stuff, but no, they're just gonna make me work out. It's gonna work me to death while I'm sitting here trying to cook my shepherd's pie. Make me earn it. Make me earn my shepherd's pie. Alright. Um, Almost all my veggies are now accumulated. I've got the celery is all I got left. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, that's the other weird thing about the whole room temperature thing. I don't wear socks anywhere. Like I'm an almost exclusively sandal guy. I will drive somewhere in winter in sandals. I don't know. Like I'd rather wear gloves than I would wear socks. Just me. I don't know. I'm a real tactile guy, and it feels weird to have my little piggies penned up. You never take your socks off. What did your feet do to deserve being imprisoned so vehemently? Have you killed a man with your feet, Kate Harvey? You do... Okay, I follow the... I do it when I'm sleeping, but not in the middle of the night. So do you just like... Do you go to bed with socks on, and then halfway through the night take the socks off? Like you just wake up to go to the bathroom and like, now's the time. My time has come. At 1 in the morning. Your toes kill people with 10 baby knives. You know what? I respect that. If they're gonna, if they can make that happen, I understand, and I even understand you locking them up. Though, I don't know, even then, you gotta admit, if they're capable of doing that, maybe you should let them out more often, you know? Who knows what they could do for you? They didn't kill you, they just killed 10 other people. Maybe you didn't like those people. Hashtag not condoning violence. So you just you sleep, take socks off. Okay. I respect that. Well done. That's amazing. Alright, things are washed. So let's get question number 2 as I move this over to our cutting board screen. Make sure you guys can see me. Yep, we'll be good when I get over there. Question number 2, let's go with a deeper question. What do we got? Ooh, are you currently annoyed with any of your friends? Who and why? Well, for one, I know this person named Kate Tarby who wears socks to bed. That's moderately annoying. I just. 2, we can say I'm annoyed at Gibbon because he was supposed to be my cameraman here, and he's obviously not here. I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry. It's a low shot. I meant what I said about I respect it. The rest is a joke. You do you. If you want to wear socks, you wear socks. You're probably... Oh, okay. I have to say one nice thing about everyone in... Normally it'd be in the Discord call. But use that time when there is no Discord call. So I'll say something nice about Sentry, you, and PB. While I think that through, let's read this here. So start with dicing potatoes into 1/2 inch pieces. Okay. And I'll also, again, go back to Gibbon. Let's turn... Doesn't cause unnecessarily glare. Move these guys over. Still a little bit frosty coming off of the celery peaches I also had stored away in the cold. Gibbon was supposed to be here. He was supposed to be our cameraman. He got a sinus infection last night, so that's why we're behind schedule. That's why the camera's set up all weird. That's why I am simultaneously cooking, reading chat, and picking cards. But we love him, and we wish he gets better. Now for positivity. Let's see what people were... I missed a couple of chats there. Okay, they were just stream elements going off. So, What knife should we use? Hold on. That's another good question. Knives. Let's go with something medium big, I'm feeling. So something nice about the people I know, or people in the chat. Century. We'll start with Century, then we'll do K-Tarby, and then PB. No, let's do K-Tarby, Century, PB. Symmetry. Ladies first and last. The obvious, the fact that you guys are here every day. Okay, so we got that. K-Tarby. It's more so what do I want to say, like what specifically than quantity, especially because I'm cooking, so I hadn't thought of it. One is the initiative. I appreciate that. I appreciate that when we play stuff together, you're active and you take charge more than some other people do, who kind of require me to do everything. Which also goes for chat messages. You keep it interesting. And initiative is one of those qualities I value most highly in literally anyone. So that's cool. Another one, very, very physically active and very engaged. So a very healthy person, inspiring in that regard, a hard worker, involved in just about everything. And then what else could we say? That's nice from what we know. Very friendly, you know, from all your interactions in chat and being loyal to the people here, putting up with all their shenanigans, very friendly. Next is going to be Century. Can you guys hear me all right from back here? Let me know. I'm trying to kind of keep myself from shouting so loud that I disturb everyone else in the house. But at the same time, keep it at a volume you guys can hear me. So, Century. What to single out for Century? You know, we should go back to K-Tarby and say generous as well, now that I'm thinking about donations. I will, PB, I will. I know I'm seeing you next week in person. So I'll have to account for whatever I say. One thing you can say about Century, he's a very caring guy. He always knows like what's going on in the community around him. He's always thinking about everyone. He's very generous when making sure people get what they need. You know, he's here for me. When my grandfather passed, he reached out about that. He reached out to my family. He reached out to his, you know, he got his family involved, telling them about it. He's a very perceptive guy, and he acts on those perceptions. So that's something massively positive about him. He's literally right now doing a workout with a recruiting office to get ready to go into the Army. So another kind of generosity there. He's also willing to put up with a lot of stuff just for the sake of the community, play games he doesn't like to play, but also keep things positive. I may or may not have just dropped one of my potatoes. It didn't happen on camera, so it didn't happen. And then very insightful and intelligent. He's had a lot of good recommendations, both for games and things in my personal life. Now let's talk about PB. While I continue cutting a few things off this potato here. I don't think I really have to be doing, and I know for a fact I actually don't have to be doing this. I just wanted to try having one that was like carefully peeled, just for my own creative palate tastes. Don't always need to stick straight to the recipe. I don't want to diverge, however, so much that I can't give an accurate review. So I'm going to kind of try a few little hash brown pieces without it. So PB. What do I say about PB? Because I've known her the longest. I met Century probably 2021, I would say. I met PB in 2019. So I've known her the longest. And so it actually makes it a little bit harder to narrow things down than you might think, because there's so many memories to sort through in order to come up with 3 specific things. But let's try anyways. The hard part is I'm also trying not to double back on things I've already said. So I've already mentioned generosity, what she has. I've already mentioned being here every day, what she does. Let's go with kindness. Very sweet and kind person. Always has a nice thing to say about another person. And always enthusiastic about that as well. She's very, very heartfelt, very sensitive to kind of the emotional needs of others. In the same way Century is to their physical needs, she's very sensitive to those sorts of things. She cares a lot about connecting with people, spending time with people, and that's very nice. Okay. I'm going to have to pause stream in a second here. I'm rushing through this to get this part of the potato done before my sister walks through the door. Alright. What was I thinking? Then last thing. So I'll pull this over here and we'll talk over here in this corner while I let my sister come inside. What else? Let's see. What else to single out? Creativity. She's a very creative person, right? She always is showing me these art projects she's making. They're really cool and really beautiful. And obviously being a streamer, creativity is something I immensely value. Because it's the stuff that keeps us all going, it's the art of using, making something beautiful out of the stirrings of one's own heart, that ends up doing it for other people. Like, it spreads the love around. When you're feeling good, you draw something beautiful, it lifts other people to that thing. So I very much appreciate that quality about PB. I think I got 3 for everyone. And yeah, so that's good. Let's pick another card while we wait here. Let's pick our special Valentine's card and hope this isn't too weird. Okay, this is just a normal one. What would you want to be famous for? All right, hold on. Let me explain to my sister my deal while I figure this out. Cool. So she's going to come inside. It's awkward because her door's right over there. You're right about that, PB. Obviously good at color guard. And I think that kind of falls into, it's a little bit of the creativity side, but it's also everything else I mentioned. Plus skill. I don't know. I was trying to keep it less to what you guys accomplish and more personality traits, but now that I think about it in that regard, yeah. What would I want to be famous for? Probably the biggest thing is happiness. I don't know. That's something I pray about every day. I think about every day. There's always different problems in the world everyone wants to be a part of addressing. And that's all wonderful and fantastic. And we all kind of have our own part to play. And for me, the thing that I've always been most concerned about is keeping people optimistic and happy and engaged and feeling like there's a day tomorrow that's worth living for, if that makes sense. Everyone's often it's so easy to get cynical and pessimistic, to see the worst in people and the worst in what's going on in the world. I think it's important to just remind people that there's always a silver lining. And so if there's one thing that the entirety of my life, like that permeates everything I will ever do, have ever done. I'd want it to be that. I want it to be kind of like a crusader for joy, if we put it in more of an epic sense. I've heard that, being a Catholic, I've heard such terminology thrown around before. So we'll stick with that. We'll go with that. I'll have to move this off the pedestal again, but let's try and cut a few more potatoes while my sister says hello to my parents. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just have to hold this. All right. No, one rule for slicing stuff up. Just want to throw this out there as well. I'm not going to do this one-handed. One rule for safety. Another rule for safety is that you should always be cutting away from yourself. I was a Boy Scout. I got my whittling chip and all that fun stuff. I know what I'm talking about. All right, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout specifically. So yeah. Before we move on, pick any more cards. Chat, do y'all have any questions for me while I focus on cutting stuff up here? What do I like to do? So on and so forth. Now that 3 of those things are passed, 3 of the cards are passed, I'm also gonna, going to throw in something that's not necessarily in the card pack. And those are food related questions, because we are doing a HelloFresh stream. So I'll come back to one of those too. It's gonna be the most unorthodox potatoes anymore. You have a statement? Okay, I'll take a statement. What are you stating, Kitarbi? So there's all sorts of ways you can do this when you're cutting the potato up to get nice clean cubes. Number one, I would start by halving it, right? So get a little indent if you need to away from the cutting board, but then as quickly as you can, get it back on the cutting board, keep your hands safe. And once you got this here, it's pretty easy to segment it, right? They're obviously not going to be completely perfect cubes, but you never get that with hash browns. But you kind of just like draw with a mental note. You think of, you've eaten hash browns before. I'm seeing here, I can probably get like 2, 3, 4. I can probably get like 4 or so segments of this. So I'll start cutting and then I'll half the pieces once I do that. Let's see what. Absolutely not. Statement. Okay, I just got back from a restaurant. I got a personal pizza. Demolished the pizza. Then the waiter said you ate more than a grown man. You are so proud. I'm proud of you because I am a grown man and I struggle to eat as much as a grown man should. If you cannot tell. A little bit on the lanky side. That's what happens when you get not 10 out of 6 foot. Kind of the worst of both worlds, or the best, depending on how you think about it. And we just got done saying we're going to focus on the positives. So being 5'11", 5'11" vibes. Best of both worlds. But yeah, I can't struggle to get enough food in. So respect for anyone who can. You certainly work hard enough to eat as much as a grown man does. 25, oh no. Right after I got done talking about how starved and weak I am. 25 crunches, I see how it is. This is my comeuppance for saying I was annoyed with you earlier, wasn't it? Isn't it? I will accept my just fate. So obviously feel free to customize as well to your particular taste, what size of hash brown you want. Sometimes I'm cutting these into 4 pieces. When I get those 4 rows, sometimes I'm cutting into just 2. Will depend on the potato. Will depend on what I want my hash browns to taste like. There is kind of a too big though. Be careful of that because when it comes time to stir it up later, you want to make sure that the cooking oil and all the seasoning really gets into every potato. And the more spaces there are, the more it has the opportunity to like get into the crack on every side of the potato, that sort of thing. And your toes get cold. You know what? We're all different. So It's totally your own prerogative whether or not you wear socks to bed, and I do respect it. Let's see if I can tilt this down without my phone falling off. It's gonna fall. Okay. Well, so far we have to find another solution for crunches. Wow, I see how much you guys really care about my personality, huh? I jest. Alright, 25 crunches. Here we go. It's not even a pity party. Can you see me? Yes, you can see me down here on my kitchen floor. Normally don't recommend doing this at home without a mat, but I've done this plenty of times at Paris Island and so on and so forth, so it is what it is. 25 crunches. Really the big other thing is I don't have anything to hold my feet, but that's alright. Ghetto crunches. 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost slide. The kitchen floor is really not the best place to do this, but we're here. 15. I think that was 25. I don't know. I think we're good. I think I did more than 25. All right. We will pick another card then. Or no. I have to think of a cooking question. Question about my culinary tastes. Can anyone cook up a question in chat? The other thing about working out in a kitchen that I'm feeling right now is the inherent pain and doing crunches with a belt on. Favorite condiment? Mayo. Don't even have to think about it. Mayo, honey mustard. You know what? No, honey mustard. I am going to go with honey mustard. Honey mustard, I mean, Chick-fil-A sauce kind of has to take the cake. I'll buy that from the store in the bottle. And it's basically just a honey mustard derivative. Kind of like a mix of honey mustard and mayonnaise, more or less, but I would say just honey mustard, because mayo can get a little bit too thick. It is kind of, I'm a big egg guy. I like putting eggs on things. I like putting eggs in salad. Oh, heck yeah. Fist bump. Honey mustard all the way. It's just like this, the perfect mix of everything. It's not too thick, it's not too runny. It's sweet, but also sour, and also yet salty. It's just perfect. It's wonderful. Fruits or veggies? Fruits. Fruits all the way. Veggies, I really only eat in recipes. So I'm going to enjoy these in here. I especially love carrots. Carrots I can eat, butter them, butter them up. Put a little bit of seasoning on there. Carrots would be great. Potatoes technically are a vegetable. They're kind of also, they're a starch, but they kind of fall into the vegetable category. So, as Samwise Gamgee says, what is the exact quote? Crush them, mash them, boil them in a stew, something like that. Love me a potato, but no, I'm a massive fruit guy. It's especially helpful to use them to get sugars, right? They're healthy sugars that instead of being bad for your digestive system, your gut, all of that, are really, really good for you. They help pass stuff through. They give you a nice fiber, keep you nice and loose when you're doing your workouts and so on and so forth. They're just great. They're wonderful all around. And they're meant to be eaten. That's the other thing, is that, Chick-fil-A honey mustard all the way. I think it's like they perfected the recipe. Especially because it's a part of their Chick-fil-A sauce, so they had to get it right in order to make that as much of a staple as it was. As much of a staple as it is, I should say. It's not often you end up with a restaurant chain able to get a condiment into normal supermarkets. So you know they're doing something right. But yeah, so fruits are meant to be eaten, right? They're meant to be delicious so that an animal picks one up, they eat it, they spread the seeds out by doing so. Vegetables really don't want to be eaten. So we make it work. Our digestive systems are built to be able to break them down. But if we eat too many, we can kind of run into an issue where our body has had too much time breaking down those vegetable oils and so on and so forth. So try and steer clear of vegetables. How about y'all? I know this is looking like it's taking a long amount of time, but you have to mind the fact that I am also very much so multitasking. My favorite fruit is probably going to be, it's either got to be the apple or the pear. I used to be a big banana guy, but it kind of breaks the rule of being great for your digestive system. Potassium's super healthy, you want it in your diet, but not as much as the other things. Texture issue for vegetables from TV. There goes the camera again. Kate Tarby agrees. She doesn't eat any of them because of the texture. She had to drink like V8 and smoothies to get your vitamins and stuff. I totally get that. I take all sorts of vitamin supplements. The good news is, you know, like I was saying, fruits cover a lot of that stuff too. So fruits are like just tasty vegetables. Obviously not recommending you leave vegetables out of your diet. They're an essential important part of the diet, but V8's a great idea. So are supplements. I could drink V8. But the texture of vegetables can get rough. But that's why you gotta know how to cook them, right? You know, if you know how to cook celery, very nice, you just steam it. Same with carrots, peas, so on and so forth. They can be fantastic. It's all about having the right recipe. All right, carrot time. So it wants me to start by trimming off the edges, and then I peel, and then I half the carrot, and then I slice it kind of like you do a banana. So we're gonna work on that. Let's rinse it off one more time. I might move the potatoes off of here in a minute, just so I have the cutting board space, because I always want to look ahead when you're making a recipe. You read your instructions to all the dads out there, because it helps to know not just what you're doing, to perfect what you're doing in the moment, you want to know where you're going, right? So I know already that potatoes are going to need to end up in a pot so that I can mash them and then strain them. So I'll probably move them from the cutting board in a minute. And so I already know where they're going now that I'm making space. So let's bring my trash a little bit over here more so you can see me while I cut these. And while I do that, I will pick another question out of here. Let's go for the card. Ooh, this is a fun one. Do I believe we'll discover aliens in our lifetime? That came out of the card deck. This is a lot deeper than you might think, depending on the person, because it has a lot more to do with like one's personal beliefs on the universe and on sentience and the likelihood of such things. So it also depends on what kind of life we're talking about, because technically we found bacteria on places like Mars already, and it is alien life. It is life that is not native to our home planet. So there's clearly life on other planets. Do I think there are other sentient species out there? I will say, for one, I don't think it's as naive as some people think to say that if there is a possibility, we're one of the earliest because we have pretty great observation. It would be pretty. We probably would have found some signs already by this point. Like, you don't need to go somewhere to see something, right? We have pretty good ideas of what are going on different planets throughout our own galaxy right now, and in solar systems, just with the types of telescopes that we have. Obviously, we don't have the full picture, but I think we would have noticed some sign, especially if there was any like civilization out there. So, or at the very least, anyone else out there is kind of going to be in the same spot we are, if not a little bit behind, if they do exist at all. To kind of, so that's if there are other aliens. So it's a possibility there could be other people behind us. From a purely material perspective, I think on the one hand, it's also a lot rarer than people give it credit for to have sentient species. It's a very, very particular mix of conditions that a planet needs in order to have that kind of life. So we'll have to see. It's possible out there, but they're not going to be, probably even a little bit less than you see in your average TV show or space-themed movie or video game. But there still could be other planets that have those conditions. The last question is then purely personal taste on your religious views, and even that will vary between denomination, between religion. So for me personally, it can go either way. On the one hand, there's a part of me that says, if God can create, the black man and the white man, why not the blue man? Is one way of looking at it. But then the other, there's problems obviously in my religion with Revelation and the end of the world and when that happens and so on and so forth. Problems come into regard with what does it mean to be made in the image and likeness of God. But it's mostly for me, it would be about the plan for the earth. I don't have a problem, Jesus obviously wasn't crucified in every country in the world, so I don't see him having to have re-come to every planet in existence. But would salvation carry over to an alien in the same way it carries over from Jew to Gentile? That's an interesting question because the line of Abraham and the line of, thank you, Dad, and Adam and Eve are all important to that narrative. So I don't know. I'll leave that to, no theological body has really come up with a cohesive, absolute religious idea as to how that would work. So I'm open to it. I think it'd be cool. I'd love to meet an alien. I'm a big sci-fi guy, so I'm all for it. But I don't know. So do I think, if I had to bet, personally, I would guess yes. But that's just me. And it's because, I don't know. I don't see, well, there's obviously exceptions. Especially in regards to specifics and broader categories, I don't think God likes to give his children dreams of things that aren't out there. So I know, hell divers, there we go. I want to get there. Slice crosswise. My brother just got here, guys, so I'm gonna come over to the side again. Let's go to my stream setup while we let these people get all inside and stuff. Room's a little bit of a mess. We're gonna be cleaning it up before stream, but I also changed the lights to red. I realized in between, I like it being blue on streams, but in between, I kind of need the upper instead of the downer when it comes to the light color. So, hey, HelloFresh. That's our Twitch page in the back. Our kitty over here. Hello. Yeah. So, I should have brought some questions in here with me. I'm going to go grab a couple, unless you guys can think of anything. What do you guys think about Alien? Okay, just let me know. As I said, yeah, I've known PB for a long time, good friend. So we try and spend some time together once a month or so. So we're going out to Texas Roadhouse. Probably still the best bet. I don't know. We'll see. Ah, I'm stuffy. Where's my tissue box? I don't know. Blues Clues my room. It can get bad between streams, but it's nice to have. The perk of streaming every day is that it gives you a concrete incentive to clean up your room every day. I always make the bed every morning, but like going beyond that can be difficult sometimes. So Wednesdays when I have my day off can get a little bit complicated. So let's start with. Okay, I got an icebreaker question. We'll leave this to the tavern chat and group. Who in your friend group is the funniest? So who. We're taking this from an icebreaker to a deep existential question as to like, what do you mean by funny? Like I said, who makes you laugh the most? Who makes you go, is that kind of funny where you don't really like belly laugh or anything? All right, I'm opening up a new tissue box. There we go. It's cold out there. It's only like 70 degrees, guys. Come on. I can't handle that. Who do I think is the funniest? Probably Gibbon. I think Gibbon's probably the funniest. He deserves credit for that. He does the best job of playing off of other people and finding ways to subvert expectations, but also do it in such a way that like it's not hard on anyone to where no one wants to laugh about it. Never making fun of making a joke at someone's expense enough so that they aren't also in on the joke. He's great with that kind of stuff. So we'll say that. Deeper. What am I most grateful for in my life? Okay. So there's going to have to be, if you wanted to get personal, it'd have to be obvious exceptions for things such as Jesus, and the church, and salvation, and heaven, and so on and so forth. So outside of that, what am I most grateful for? Problem is that it changes a lot, as you go through different phases in life as to what, because, the only things that really carry over to every part of life that's not like dependent on the part of life are going to be those absolute like eternal things, right? Like your religious identity, your national identity, your personal identity. So things like your God, your country, your family. Those are all things that are obvious for me as like the things I'm most grateful for. But things of Star Wars, massive to me personally. I'm grateful for those things existing. For development, I would say Boy Scouts probably, and the troop I was in, the friends that I made, my Scoutmaster. I guess at the moment it'd be this, at the moment it would be the fact that I get to live this dream where I'm a streamer now, and I make money off of this, and I have a sponsor, so shout out to HelloFresh for that. And I have these viewers who come back every day. I can't make a heart with only one hand. I was going to try, and then I realized halfway through I can't do that, but love you all. The fact that I'm able to do this, the fact that I'm able to kind of live this dream, that means a lot to me. So I said family, Mom. Okay, I said family. Sandoz is probably number 2 funny. But yes, outside of things, those are the things I'm most grateful for outside of things like God, country, family. But obviously, yes, my mom. I love you, Mom. What is a goal you would like to accomplish in the near future? That's another good question. Because I always got things cooking up long-term plan-wise. But I don't know, like, I don't do great with short-term goals. I have to kind of think of those in the moment. You know what? We'll say this Minecraft server idea that I talked about on Instagram a while back. I spent like an hour talking to Jay about it today. He's all for it. He loves the idea. Silverback is helping us put it together. We found a way to make it so that like the events can all be vanilla, so we're not like adding and taking away mods part way through. But we can still have a bunch of like fun mods that just enhance the experience rather than like totally converting it. So you know, the tree felling mod, the better seasons, better signs, so on and so forth. So that's the next big goal. Let's see if they're outside of the kitchen yet. Yeah, send them a text. Let me know again anything you guys can. Oh no, I can't. I don't want to risk leaving the Twitch app. I'll venture out in person. You made an Instagram. Why is Sandals gonna have your head for that? You better follow me on Instagram and get in the meme chat. Alright, I guess we're good. Bruh, made an Instagram account and then just sat on it. Why are you like this? Pretty much set. What did you forget to say yesterday? Oh, you made Instagram, I'm guessing. Yeah, for their sake, I won't tell you guys who it was I ended up playing Rivals with on my own a little bit yesterday. But things went very poorly. 1-8 for games. Every single time, me and the other person had like over 40k in our stats. You know, whatever we were playing in, whether it was healer, tank, DPS. We lost 8 games in a row on competitive. We both deranked like once or twice. It was a mess. Do I believe in ghosts and or spirits? That's complicated. In the Catholic Church, we believe in souls in purgatory being able to kind of do things that people associate with haunting, but outside of that, we also view angels, demons, divine apparitions, saints appearing to people, so on and so forth, ecstatic visions, that sort of thing. But the most thing, when you think of like a house as being haunted, in the Catholic Church, we have to view that as, again, either a soul in purgatory that needs prayers, or it's going to be a demon. And you can pretty much tell the difference based on whether they're trying to harm you. Whether it's trying to get attention or whether it's trying to harm you. Whether it's trying to harm you, grab an exorcist. If it's trying to just get your attention, say some prayers for those who have passed beyond. So the answer to all the above is basically yes, just not really a ghost, like a spooky, tangible ghost. Kind of more like Casper the Ghost type things. So, all right, I got a banana the carrots. That's what I have to remember. Okay. I can describe it in the way they said it, but I prefer the terminology banana then. What was I thinking? I should have picked another question before I came over here. Almost done. Locking in on my carrot slicing. Alrighty, our carrots are done. What else we got? Mountains or beach? Okay. Mountains. I'm a mountain guy. I don't know. I'm not a big water guy. I guess I kind of like the water. I get really dry skin. I sunburn easily. I don't like taking off my shirt in public. That makes me uncomfortable. I I like beach sports. I'll play volleyball on the beach. I do love the heat, obviously. So that's why it's kind of weird for me to say mountains. I love the heat. I love to play beach volleyball. I love to have a picnic on the beach. But the second it's like, let's go get wet, I get in the water. I'm like, this is cool. And then that's it. What do I do? What do I do when I'm in the water? Splash, 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 splash. Like, all right, we had our activity now. What am I supposed to do? I need something to do. I guess I'm much more of a doer. So when I'm mountain climbing, I'm constantly being active. Like I'm looking at the trees, I'm taking in the scenery, I'm walking. I guess you can do that with swimming, but like it's a lot more tiring to use your whole body to swim for a long period of time. It's not relaxing and like unwinding the way walking through a mountain is. So okay. And so like I can do the beach. I would need like a surfboard if I was gonna go into waves. The wave that would be fun. Part of it too is I live near a lake, so I don't have like a proper ocean beach to talk from experience with. Ironically, even though like there's nothing dangerous in a freshwater lake, I'm still like freaked out by fish because that's the other thing. Like the unknown weirds me out. So like when I look out into the water and it's like I don't know what's in there. You want me to jump in this giant pool of water where like half my body is subjected to forces beyond my control and comprehension. I don't know what's down there. I gotta get over it though. I'm working on it. Gotta make peace with the fishes the same way I made peace with spiders back in the day. Longest distance I've ever walked or run? That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to it though. I've climbed mountains, so I guess that says it. Be scared a fish would bite you and wouldn't let go? Right. What are you gonna do, huh? At the same time, the flip side, it's a fish. So what do you do if a fish won't let you go? You just punch it. Just punch him in his little fish face. Or, you can try and be kind. Which is really always, a lot of the times, do what you gotta do in self-defense if your life's really at stake. But a lot of the times it's easier to get an animal to do what you want to do. With just like you're nice to the fish, you're gently kind of like tugging it and that kind of thing, but then you just give it like one nice thwap, one nice punch, let it down easy, and then give him a nice knockoff is going to be easier than like really trying to pick a fight. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe pulling a tooth. What am I thinking of? Where like you want to like make things nice and easy, kind of like you stretch before a workout. So like be nice to the animal. Obviously, and it works out because we don't want to be cruel to animals. They're just doing what animals do, but we also gotta, take care of business. You had fish lip-sized bruises on your calf. Oh no! Well, he was just giving you a little kiss. He just wanted to tell you how much he liked you. Fine dice the celery. Eating my grassy water. Picked another card. When have I been the unluckiest? I don't know. I usually get pretty good luck. I guess last night with marbles. It's always like when I'm gaming. It would just be like certain moments where something is going obscenely wrong and it has no business going wrong, We can say my head injury that I had right before I went to Paris Island, that was pretty unlucky. Someone who had done plenty of black diamonds before just like totally dropped the ball and destroyed my life. That was cool. But all things work for good. And they did. I'm here now. I wouldn't have been here otherwise, probably. Thanks be to God. So are you guys mountain or beach people? Chat, let me know. Dicing up the celery here. Anyone want to play me some fun music to keep the celery interesting? You like a Lord of the Rings thing going? I don't know if you can use Stream Elements. Like, do those redeemables work even when I'm doing it on the phone? That's another good question. Let's see what chat had to say. What's my earliest memory? My earliest memory. I remember when I was like 5 or something. My uncle was coming over the house, and while everyone was getting ready for him to come over, I got to do the sort of fun, stupid stuff kids like to do that they don't normally get away with because no one's paying attention to me. So I was like hiding behind furniture, jumping on the couches, stuff like that when I was 5. That's my earliest memory. Last card I just picked right there said, do I drink coffee black or with sugar? And the answer is both. Depends on the day. Half peel and finely chop onion. Okay. Cut the ends off. Brown bits out. Time for me to start crying. So ask me the emotional question so I can hide my emotions. Beach 100%. I don't like to believe in astrology and stuff like that, but being a July baby and a Cancer, I'm a huge water person. Oh, there we go. Let me know if that played. I can't hear it on the phone, but Lord of the Rings. My mom hates when I get in the pool because I don't like to get out. Okay, that's awesome. I have mad respect for that. Anyone who can find a way to make being in a pool fun, I have mad respect for that. Sorry, I just had something pop up. You can't hear it either. No! Yeah, it's because we're away from the computer. It's okay. I'll play Lord of the Rings just for you later when I go onto the computer. Because we are doing gaming after this. We got some fun stuff planned with the Tavern crew as usual. Things like Among Us, Jackbox, that kind of stuff. Have, peel, and finally chop onion. Alright. I think I've taken care of business with the... Oh, I already peeled it. What am I doing? I don't need to peel... I don't need to throw this stuff out. So finally chop onion. This is the onion. Not the skin. Well, some of this is the skin. I'll just throw this out for ease. What else did you say about the beach? I'm trying to think. So do you like mountains though? Are you like, when you say 100% beach person, does that mean you really don't like the other, or you just really love the beach? So everyone cuts onions your own way, and again, if you want like the best optimal instructions, I'd recommend going to that HelloFresh QR code they give you with the instruction manual. But I'm just doing it the way I would have done it in my Boy Scouts kitchen. Just cutting it into nice little lines, then coming back and chopping the other way. And kind of get down and gritty once it's on the cutting board. Always want to be careful what part of the knife you're using. Like when you really want to finely cut stuff, try to use the broad part. When you're trying to get like precise, I would start with the tip and then kind of roll your wrist into it. this is the kind of stuff I love about HelloFresh. To mention that again is that as I'm getting to learn all sorts of stuff about cooking as I'm doing this, right? Because when you think about it, like, we're taking a while because we're talking, we're having a good time. But when you think about, like, if I was just making this on my own, I'd probably be done by now. It only takes, like, this recipe really would only take like 45 minutes, honestly. If you're doing this at home on your own, maybe an hour max. And so while you're doing that, like, you think about one of my best friends is Gibbon, right? He lives 45 minutes away, about 45. So meeting him halfway is like 20 minutes. So I'm already driving about 20 minutes. We're waiting for the chef in the restaurant to cook food for a while. I have to get dressed. I have to get ready. I have to shower. I have to do all that stuff. In the same amount of time, I can come in here in my pajamas, relaxed, and just have a good time, play some music, play whatever I want. I don't have to rely on what they have on the TV at the restaurant. Gibbon could still be here. We can be having a good time while I chop this up, talking to him the same way I'm talking to y'all. Cooking up a recipe, it's going to take about the same amount of time because I'm going to learn. I'm going to get the fun experience of having done it myself. So I love HelloFresh. I really do. How do I react when I receive bad news? I'll come back to that in a second. I'm just a huge nature person. Anything that has to do with going outside, I'm all for. Fantastic. I'm right there with you. Again, Boy Scouts. You would also enjoy a mountain just as much, but you'd rather go to a beach. I'm right there. I'm on the opposite side with you. But yeah, I will do anything outside. Get me outside, I will do it, and I love that. That's an awesome way to be. There's just so much, there's so much beauty when you go out into the creative world. It's such a wonderful thing. And it's really healing too. It's good for your mind, it's good for your heart, it's good for your body. It's free. It's free entertainment. It's really wonderful. What else was I thinking? How to react to bad news. PB also said you haven't seen any Girl Scout cookies at the store. This is kind of sad. All the scouting's going downhill. They've gotten all sorts of controversies, made all sorts of weird decisions outside of the stuff you guys hear about, like selling off campgrounds when they have, everyone wants to keep it, so on and so forth. Hey, Big Ant. This is our HelloFresh Q&A. So HelloFresh is an extra bonus to us, which I'm very grateful for. It gives me a special reward if I did a cooking stream or an eating stream. I thought a fun way of getting a cooking stream in would be to do a Q&A. So I'm sitting here chatting with my viewers, talking about, going back and forth with all sorts of questions. Got some of my own, got some about food, got some about HelloFresh, and obviously reacting to the questions we got in chat. So having a great time. I'm just cooking up a shepherd's pie. I'm really looking forward to eating that and once I'm get it done here. But yeah, we're having a good time, which it's a great time for me to talk as well about what you get if you sign up for HelloFresh. Our sponsorship still lasts for another 1 or 2 days. So if you put the code that you see popping up in chat every now and again, then you click on the link, you put in the code they give you there, you get a box that's normally like $70 for $35. They send you a box. Again, at least for me, the ones that I've gotten and the ones my friends have gotten who have done it, they give you those 3 free boxes you can give out to other people too, which is really cool. They don't advertise that, and so I'm not going to guarantee they're in every single box, but all the boxes we've received, we've gotten them, so that's cool. You get a free breakfast for life. You can pause your subscription, come back and get that later. You can skip a week, you can do whatever you got to do money-wise if you need it. Future boxes are going to cost the normal amount. You get the discount just the first, but you also get that free breakfast item for life. And you're getting 6 meals out of it, and that's out of that box. You can also lower the amount of meals that you get to a little bit lower than that. You can raise the amount of meals, which changes the price as well. This is a wonderful opportunity, a great deal, so much fun to do. The food tastes great. It is truly fresh. Yeah, you gotta love HelloFresh. So going back to that question while I move on to our next step is, how do I react when I hear bad news? Let me think about that one. That's a good question. So that one's actually pretty easy for me. Going back to that kind of the core of my life, the core of my mental philosophy and how to deal with situations is going to be positivity. No matter what, whether this is, not to say bad news, but when I was working at Walmart, like I was single at the time, like I am now. I had nothing going on tomorrow. It is what it is. Life is good no matter what. But I was walking through Walmart. I was surrounded by all the pretty coworkers. Like they were all having me in the same area at the same time. I was rolling this cart out that had a bunch of boxes. Everything fell off the cart. Super embarrassing. Really sucky situation to be in. First words that gotta come out of your mouth are something like "Praise be Jesus." Something like "Thank you, Lord." Something that makes it clear that you are committed to finding a positive in this situation. It's going to be hard, but you make that commitment, and that opens your heart up to that. Okay, I can get over this. I can get past this. And just sets you down the right path immediately. It matters so much how you start. It matters with other people how much where you start. If someone is doing something new and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is a criticism, you can say 1,000 positive things after that, and they'll still be focusing on the criticism. That's what's going to make it seep into their heart and going to set the tone for everything they did. It's so important. First impressions, no matter what you're doing in life. So the first thing I do when I receive bad news is I give praise. I think of a praise prayer, and I pray, I give it to God, I surrender it to God. I pray for the thing that's happening. And then I start to work through it. I start to think of how it makes me feel, how it's going to make the people around me feel, and start taking action immediately. Like I said, prayer, sending condolences, rescheduling my time to make sure I have the time to deal with it. Looking at my schedule. And I try to be very practical, very regimented. I'm very much, like I said, the unknowns can kind of make me uneasy. But it's nice to have like a framework to fall back on, especially it gives your heart room to breathe. So like I know when that stuff goes down, I'm immediately listing out in my head, okay, these are the people affected by the situation. This is what they might need. This is what they might be feeling. And the more you can get out of your own head, the better, right? The more you're thinking about other people, the less that hurt is going to really seep in. It'll give you time to slowly process that emotion. Sometimes you want to rip the Band-Aid off. Sometimes you want to take it all at once. Sometimes you want to spread it out. You got to be discerning. You're going to depend on what you're able to handle. Just play it safe. You can break it down to many decisions as you can. Do it prayerfully. You always come out on top. And biggest thing, set the tone right. How do I react when I receive bad news? Is I start with praise. Alright, so I really should have put the potatoes in here earlier. If you're doing this at home, absolutely do that, because I'm now realizing I can't just pick up the cutting board and throw these in the pot. I have to do this with my own hands because I don't want everything else to go with it. So it is what it is. We'll make it work. Yeah, so when my grandfather passed earlier this week, literally Tuesday, the first thing I did was say, "Praise be Jesus," and then I started to try to think about it in the positive light. Think about the fact that he was home. Think about the fact that he wasn't suffering anymore. Think about the fact the people who were kind of tied down in this prolonged period of grief are now released to that. And just like giving thanks for each of those things to kind of give myself strength, something to munch on as kind of like these good things to hold on to. And think about the positives, like are about to come. The fact that everyone's now going to like get together again and going to get to see all your family, so on and so forth. The fact that we just, I was just picking those up with my hands while I'm washing my hands there. That's just more of a creature comfort, but reminds me to always shout out, before you cook, and especially when you're working with meat, even partway through the recipe, make sure you always are continually washing your hands. Be safe. Take care of yourself. If you're going to all the work of making healthy food, have a healthy preparation habits. Alright, so I'm going to need salt. Normally, you should just have salt on hands. I was looking at the cabinet for it today. I couldn't find it. I guess we used up the last of it. So I just got the shaker, but they want us to put water into the pan I just got, which I'll bring over here. Water into the pan until it covers it by about 2 inches. So you're going to fill this up with water, and you're going to want like about 2 inches off of where the potatoes are. there's water above them. They might float, so you have to just kind of play it by ear, but it's not too specific. It's not too much of a science. As long as you're not absolutely drowning them or absolutely like uncovering them, you should be fine. Salt's going to come last, though. You want to mix that into the water. I'd also probably recommend doing the water first and then putting the potatoes in and then adding more water. But either works. Do as I say, not as I do. Move this over here while I fill that up. See me? Okay, they're staying down pretty good. Recipe knows what it's talking about. All right, we're already good. Let's flip the salt shaker to biggest open option. Make sure it's nice and open. Just start pouring. Now it is salt water. I want it to be what temperature? Why am I looking over here for temperature? I should have done that first as well. Okay, we're good. This should have been lukewarm. I was right. I didn't mess up. We're good. What do you guys cook on at home? I got a gas stove. That's what I'm using over here. So just turn that on. We bought the house that already had a gas stove. I really like it. Electric works too, though. I was raised on an electric stove. I do prefer gas. Icebreaker question from the cards over there. Last book I read. Every year I have a tradition in my church of picking a saint to kind of learn about and pray with over the course of the year. So I last year got Saint Anthony of the Desert, also known as Saint Anthony the Great, one of the earlier founders of monasticism, sort of ascetic life. And I'm really enjoying it. So I'm just reading a book about him. I forget what it's called, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I gotta finish it up soon because it's the new year and I have a new saint. But sometimes this is the way life goes. I'm an Audible guy, and because of the switch from my normal job to streaming, this being the first month I'm making money, it's gonna be the first month I'm able to afford Audible. So I'm looking forward to picking that back up again. Maybe I'll finish the book with that, but there is something different about sitting down with a book. There's so many studies about how it trains your mind to get comfortable, and you got to push through the discomfort at first, but eventually it rewires your head to be able to be a lot more present, a lot more in the moment, a lot more creative. So, bringing this to a boil. Yeah, let me know. Are you guys gas stove people, or are you electric stove? Well, I go grab something real quick. I need hand lotion because, again, going back to the beach thing, really dry skin. I'm really feeling it right now. After washing my hands. Got my handy dandy, super expensive hand lotion for my baby hands. You're scared of gas because you almost burnt your house down. It is a real concern. We've had many times where someone has left this gas stove on in the house. Not gonna say any names. Wasn't me. But yeah, it could happen. You do have to be very careful. But don't let that confuse you as well. It's safer in an electric stove, but depending on what you have on it, you could also be in some trouble if you leave the burner heating something. But it is safer. So I get that. I like the taste, and being a freeze baby, I like the feel. Especially in the winter months, I'm cooking up hot cocoa. I'm cooking up right in front of the fire. just come in from plowing snow, shoveling snow off the driveway. S tier. Deep question time. I'm gonna pick another one. I don't like that one. Am I scared or excited about getting older? Answer is indifferent. I guess excited. Actually between that one I'm excited. If you're talking about like whether I prefer being young or prefer being old, all in God's good time. There's a beauty to everything. I wouldn't rush it. What matters most is having experienced the full diversity of life. Having really lived everything. And so when I look forward to later years in life, there's so much to be excited for. Who knows what could happen? I could get married. I could have kids. I could have a family. I get to do all sorts of different things. But also, I'm loving the life I have right now. Maybe I won't do any of that stuff. Maybe I'll become a monk. But no matter what it is, it's going to be beautiful. And it's important to look with hope to your future. To hype yourself up for it. There's nothing to be afraid of. You can age gracefully. Yeah, everything that has a negative has a corollary. Like, yes, you're going to return, your body's getting weaker, but you're spending more time with your family and with your grandkids, and you need that body less. And it offers an opportunity for your loved ones to rally around you and for you to get to see them more. It all works out. And especially old age is kind of just like inverted childhood. You get a period of your life where the kids you took care of were taking care of you. It's a truly wonderful and deep experience. Yeah. What else we got? Is there anything I can be doing while this is boiling? Not really. Oh no, here we go. While potatoes cook, heat a drizzle of oil in a medium, preferably oven-proof, pan. Okay. Is the pan going into the oven? I thought I had read everything in here, but maybe not. Okay, no, we're fine. It's not going in the oven, so we're good. So what am I doing in the pan? While potatoes cook, heat a drizzle of oil. I prefer me some extra virgin olive oil. To each their own. I feel like in my personal opinion, I'm not a doctor. It does not constitute legal advice. I'm not super experienced with this sort of thing. Just in my personal opinion, olive oil is probably the healthiest option. I'll leave this out. Nutrition, that's the other word I'm looking for. No, not nutrition. Still not the right word. Nutritionist. That's what I was going for. Nutrition is a thing. Nutritionist is an occupation. I knew that. Over medium heat. Okay. Add carrot, season with salt and pepper. Cook stirring until slightly softened, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So, to stir, it looks like they're using a wood spoon, so I am too. Also a great opportunity to learn what your family does with your cooking utensils. You live with other people. I'm going to kind of mix this oil around in here so it gets kind of spread out more evenly. Potatoes are almost boiled. Alright, carrots are next. Once again, gotta get my hands dirty. For safety, just to be extra careful turning the burner off while I change over to this. You'll be putting it right back on, but again, you don't want to get your hands dirty. Don't be like me. Do things one at a time with a cutting board. Using my stream like a podcast while you clean? Epic. Epic. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Ooh, when was the last time I cried? That's an interesting question. Last night I was watching a show called Downton Abbey, and they had some really. They're in the World War One period of the show, and there's some really moving scenes in that TV show. So, no spoilers, but certain characters dying, certain scenes of war, certain scenes of people having been injured, the way they're being taken care of. To some extent, it's the tragedy that moves you, but the other thing is the humanity, and it's the love that moves you. You see how much the people rally around each other, what they do for the other people, go out of their way, the sacrifices they make. That moves you in totally the opposite way. You get a lot of both, and I really appreciate, it's easy for a show creator to kind of bait their audience, get easy money out of just making everything all tragic and scary and sad. It's a lot harder to write like stuff that makes you cry because it's good. I appreciate when people do that. Like I always get that with Lord of the Rings. That moved me to tears a lot. Last time I watched it, Return of the King. Yeah, which I should probably talk about that while we're on here, because I watched that last weekend, Return of the King. And didn't get a chance to talk about it on the stream yet. Oops. I didn't like this. Get a little bit of oil on all of the carrots. Just a little bit, you don't want to drown them. You're left with just oil flavor. Alright, we're at a boil with the potatoes, so that's coming off now. You got it. I will let you know. Actually, I don't want to turn this off. Okay. It's even only going for like 10 minutes or so. It says cook for 15 and 20 minutes. So I'm going to need to leave it on for another like 5. Or is it... Yeah. The way it's written, it should be the 15 to 20 minutes includes the period of it heating up, I think. But I'm really looking for it to get tender. So let me look at the instructions once more over, and then I'll start talking about Lord of the Rings. Should be adding other stuff to this now and seasoning this with salt. And pepper. Okay. Salt and pepper these bad boys. Next step is going to be add everything over here, and when we do that, we're going to add a lot more oil. So, I think I can probably explain all the Lord of the Rings stuff too without saying any spoilers. Let me just get the celery and stuff on here, and then we'll go into that. Okay. It's a little bit wet, but that's alright. We should be done with this cooking board, or cutting board, so I'm going to move this over here. Come back and finish up properly cleaning it later. But we want to get back to this as quick as we can. Add our large amount of oil. Stir this into it. There we go. More salt and pepper. Then we're ready to move the potatoes over to the sink. This is the part where it gets intense, people. The other thing I like about olive oil is that it is a pleasant flavor as well. Unlike vegetable oil, that really just tastes like oil. Or the oh so notorious seed oils everyone's talking about nowadays. Not anything yet. Thank you very much, Given. Great to see you, my friend. Alrighty. This isn't so tender, so I'll use my knife and spoon here. Go a little bit longer. Alright, so talking about Lord of the Rings. I want to do like a full-on segment about it coming up. We're all good. I don't know if I can even Discord call while on the phone. I mean, if you want to, I can Discord call you on my computer and have you read the chat. But I've gotten it to the point where like I'm pretty good at everything, being able to manage it all back and forth. But it would be nice to have someone to read the chat. Let's see if I can pull you up. Do I have Discord on my computer? There we go. I can hear you. I gotta turn you up so that they can hear you. Let's see. Can anyone hear giving coming out of my laptop over to the side? I can also move.
I couldn't hear myself, I don't think.
Let me move the computer right up next to. And giving.
It's not good. But it'll work.
Talk now.
I'm here.
How well is the cooking experience going?
I'm gonna mute your stream.
I'm enjoying it.
I cooked some HelloFresh today as well.
Heck yeah! I was gonna ask what you cooked. What'd you make?
It was like pork, lemon, cabbage or something like that.
Ooh, very nice.
How's yours coming along?
So far, so good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm making some shepherd's pie. Alright, we should be just about there. And these potatoes. Now I'm questioning if I want to do like a full segment for Lord of the Rings. I feel like it's kind of owed that, but the thing I'll go in deeper more for on Lord of the Rings when I talked about Return of the King, really this what I was thinking about when I was watching it is about how, like, when we watch something like that, let's see, how did I put it? See how reason why it's better to do on segments. I'm not coming up with it off the cuff, but like everyone kind of sees the virtue in the heroes. Some people go so far as to see the heroes in themselves and like what they can, how they can become the hero. And I think even better, like the least amount of people, but those who get the most out of an experience like that, is learn to see the heroes in the other people in their life. So like you see people like Gandalf and Aragorn, not only in like yourself and what you've been able to be, and who you're going to be able to be, but you also see that in like other people in your life. You think of who are your Merrys and Pippins and who are your Sams, and who are these people that that mean so much to you, and why do they do? And you use it to deepen those experiences. And that was something that was really moving to me when I was watching these things. And obviously, Tolkien was a religious person; he's the same religion as me. So there's so much symbolism in there, things I'm going to walk through on stream. Every time I watch it, something new hits me. Like this time, one of the big ones was Aragorn walking, going to some, or you know what? I can't say that, it's a spoiler. So we'll let KTR be watching, we'll talk about it on stream.
Yeah, I was about to say, where is she in the Lord of the Rings?
Yes, so I guess really the last thing I'll say on it is that the one thing I was thinking of, we talked a lot about friendship before on the channel, and I'm glad it's kind of becoming a theme.
No, that's Harvey. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got plenty of other things to talk about tonight. It's Q&A night, not Lord of the Rings night. Where we talk so much about friendship and how much those connections matter, especially in a world that's kind of lost that. And one of the things I love about Sam, especially like when I talk about heroes we should all want to be, and all seeing ourselves and seeing each other, is Sam. Sam is the one that I always come back to because he's at the core of every relationship you have, whether it's a marriage, whether it is boyfriend, girlfriend coming up on St. Valentine's Day tomorrow, whether it's your family, whether it's your siblings, your actual friends, just to look at the difference in approach between people like even Merry and Pippin kind of fall in this category versus the modern world. And how we often think of friends as just like associates who we have fun with, and as soon as we're done having fun, it's all over. Maybe we'll go so far as to allow them like sleep, do special things for them so long as they're convenient to us in an entertainment so entertaining way. But The Lord of the Rings presents a very different type of friendship, the type of friendship that's at the core of those other relationships that last throughout your life. And that's just that absolute commitment to another person. I think we lose a lot of that in friendships. Your willingness to commit yourself to someone else and to really think deeply about what those relationships mean. Like to care so much about your friends. You have the kind of conversations with your friends that Frodo and Sam do throughout, lifting each other up and thinking, going to the heart of what they're fighting for, what they're living for. Something we don't often think about. What are our friends' goals? What are their dreams? I'm so thankful, Gibbon's here right now. One of my friends who has made my dreams come true. That means so much to me. And it's such a different experience when you have those friendships. And you can only really do that if you preserve them as well. That's where the commitment comes in, is this idea of like legacy friendship, where it's not just dependent on who's around at the time, but the same way we do with family and with our partners and with our children. Is looking into, is thinking about how we can shape our lives around those relationships. Approaching life where the relationships in our lives are at the core, and everything immaterial kind of surrounds those. And it's just so hard when you get later into life. People talk about how it's hard for people to form new relationships later in life because you're so set in your ways. It goes for friendships too. It's so hard when you move to a new location when you're older to find people because you're not as flexible anymore. You're not as open. There's only so much you can do about that. Your brain is an organ and it develops. You become a different person. And so the more and more we can keep those relationships around and continually grow and deepen them. So this time and time and again, come back to Sam, to loving our friends the way Sam loves Frodo, and Frodo loves Sam. Yeah. that was my Lord of the Rings experience. So we'll stick with that. It's time to strain the potatoes.
I was about to say you're gonna burn your food yapping about training. But no, I agree.
Amen, brother. All right, I got. So this is a cool thing. I brought it out so you could just see it. Like, I do have a strainer. That's what most people are going to use. It will work for this. But I got this cool lid that kind of like is half open, half a strainer. So steam can still come out of here. I could have boiled it with this lid on. I decided to leave it off, but so when I go to pour, it's just going to pour out of this like strain portion. Kind of see it? On the side here, there we go. Nice, look at that. Shine those nice potatoes in there. You'll be able to see better once I've got the water out. It smells immaculate. Immaculate. You can see my shadow. I haven't left. Move this over here while I finish this up. Let me pick a card and I'll talk about while I do this. We're done with Lord of the Rings. Can't do that one. It says, show your friends the last selfie you took. I'm using my phone. Do I prefer working on site or working remotely? That's a good question. And chat, that's a question for everyone there as well. For me, it will depend. It'll depend. I'm a lot more pro remote than some people are. What was I thinking? Closet is all clean now? Heck yeah! Alright, I should stop reading. I should let Gibbon do what he came here to do.
Yeah, that'd be the idea. That'd be the idea behind why I'm here.
Right, so I can cook. I mean, you're here for the company, of course. Alright, we got...
I'm working. It's all billable hours.
I'll make sure I don't forget that, don't worry. Look at those nice potatoes. Oh, the smell. It smells like candy. How did they do that? How have you done this, HelloFresh?
I don't know, dude. They're wizards over there.
Apparently. So I'm more pro-remote than most people are because I really, like, again, it's that relationship value. Yes, I agree that it will affect work to some extent. But it also improves your workers' relationship with their work, how committed they are to it, kind of the long-term internal things. Looking at, your people like a piece of equipment that needs care and maintenance. It's a great thing to let them be home with their families. There's some people who are going to abuse that. But there are ways to come up with systems of reward and punishment, deterrence that will keep that from happening. And so when you can, I think it's good. But you also do want to create a work culture. You want your employees to know each other, to value each other. And so I'm more pro mixed approach, like I do all this stuff with Gibbon. I gotta admit, we wouldn't be as close to be able to have the chemistry we have on stream if we didn't know each other in person and see each other like every once in a while.
That is true. I think the best scenario is to use like a hybrid method,
Right.
So like where you kind of have the option. I think that kind of gives you the best of both worlds and gives you the best scenario of productivity versus flexibility. So.
Amen. So chat, let us know what you think, what you prefer. It's always going to be a little different for every person too, and that's great because there is a diversity in what kind of jobs you're doing and how much different jobs need to be in each place. But as you can see, I'm putting in now the thyme and the garlic powder. And so you can just put it straight on from the packet. I prefer to put it in my hand first so I can get like a little bit more control over my sprinkle. Stir this all around. Oh, this is gonna be great, dude.
It's gonna be pretty fire. I would say so.
Yep. I like my vegetables a little bit crispier than most, but you can definitely customize the taste. You know, that's why they give you a time window partially. It's not just to make sure like you don't mess it up, but also make sure you know that you're safe to kind of do what's right for you and your taste buds. Still be like healthy and like cooked enough to not be dangerous on things where that matters. But yeah, on your way back, 40 minutes. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
If I said I had a side hustle, what would it be? That's a great question for my card. What's something I'll never try again and why? I don't think there's an answer to that. Unless it's time, like time-wise, like I'm too old to be able to do something or another. I'm always open to retrying new things.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Alright. I got my beef up here. Defrosted it earlier. Should I cut it up before I add? No, break it up in there. So I got this meat patty. I'm going to throw some salt and pepper on to start. But yeah, I defrosted it between the microwave and the fridge. Geronimo!
Yeah, what are we up to?
Lovely. Wash the bowl off the plate, keep it from staining.
Yeah, it sounds like it's pretty good. Have you been enjoying the meals so far that you've gotten?
What's up?
Have you been enjoying the meals that you've gotten so far?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Something else I wanted to throw up too was the comment on, hold on, this is going to be really sizzly for a moment. Switching to something longer to break this up so that it,
Gotta lock in.
yeah. There's enough oil. So I'm not getting like little oil jump. You gotta be careful with that. When you have something going like oil in the pan, you know, you wanna be careful. You're keeping a little bit of a distance so you're not like getting splatter up on your hands that can burn you. Gotta get the potatoes going too. If this was earlier, I'd be very careful about separating out of my utensils, but since I'm done with most of them, I'm just leaving them all on the same plate. But know that when you're cooking with meat, again, safety, safety, safety. Potatoes.
Yes, you gotta be safe with meat.
Mash with sour
All those
cream
dirty animals.
and 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay. Well, lest I eat my own words, I gotta wash my hands right now and grab a new knife out. I like to use paper towels for meat as well, kind of get some friction to get stuff really cleanly off your hands. And you can throw away when you're done. Don't have to wash the towel or anything. Each their own though. Question.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Favorite ice cream flavor? That's a good question. For the longest time, it was vanilla. Now it's chocolate. But if we want to broaden it out, butter pecan. If I include anything, it's probably butter pecan. But like, again, I will go, if I was allowed to go to the, you know, I don't know. I would do it every day if I was allowed to. Bring out a new ice cream flavor from the store. But at least like once a week, we'll want to go down the ice cream aisle and buy like the new type of ice cream they come out with. They got one out where they just got panda in the name. I don't know what panda ice cream tastes like. I want to try it. Does it taste like bamboo?
Panda Paws is peanut butter cups.
Peanut butter cups. Ooh! See, that sounds wonderful. I'm not picky, so I love to try new things. But yeah, probably the classic that I'll always come back to is either going to be like butter pecan, cookie dough is another honorable mention, or just straight up chocolate.
I feel like the correct answer is peanut butter cup or Stretch, but we'll let that go.
Peanut butter does belong, admittedly, in ice cream. I'll agree to that.
Oh, by the way, Kate Harvey says that your answer feels like 78% of America's answer.
I'm glad. I'm proud of that. They call me Jack for a reason. Jack of all trades. What else do I need here? I want to come back to the other thing about you mentioned the other HelloFresh meal, but someone else. What is Kate Tarby's favorite flavor? Peanut butter. Okay.
Peanut butter omelet. See, she's got it.
Heck yeah.
Anything peanut butter, dude.
So that's for like I consider that almost like I'll put peanut butter cups on as a topping on just about anything I'm eating. Sprinkle is a big sprinkle guy, big whipped cream guy. But they gotta be like proper sprinkles, not those tiny little ball things. Adding splash of water is needed.
Alright, PB is, her favorite ice cream flavor is Cosmo from Mitchell's Ice Cream from the CLE.
Okay.
Which is, I do agree Mitchell's ice cream is good.
That's really cool.
Well, we got Kate Harvey with that is actually a very good answer. Her favorite, she lied, her favorite is Half Baked from Ben & Jerry's.
Is what?
Half Baked from Ben & Jerry's.
Ooh.
Kate Harvey's favorite.
Yeah, I get that.
Ben & Jerry's is like the best ice cream brand
around.
So,
yeah.
As far as quality goes, you can't beat them.
So, mixing the butter and sour cream in with potatoes and mashing those up. What do I gotta keep track of with the meat while I'm doing this? After it's cooked for a little bit, I gotta add the tomato paste and flour. We should be right about there, but let me get a little bit of mashing in on my potatoes. It says to add a splash of water here and there, so I'm gonna move over here while I'm doing it. I can see that, kind of keep them from getting tough. What did PB say they're giving?
Cosmo ice cream has, wait, hold on, we got two. Kate Harvey said it'd be a gallon of that stuff to one sitting, which I would agree. And PB said Cosmo ice cream has cotton candy ice cream with marshmallow fluff. That does sound very good. A little too sweet for me, but it does sound good.
Right. Heck yeah. Like I said, I'll eat about just about anything, but I'm kind of there with you. That's why I switched to chocolate for me. I used to be a vanilla guy, now I'm on a chocolate base. It's got a little bit of a grittier, harder taste. Mashing the potatoes up here with the sour cream and butter. Oh, this is wonderful. The question of HelloFresh, the thing I wanted to come back to is that a while back, because of the way a stream worked out, I only had time to like cook a meal before a stream and I had to eat it after. And the leftovers, I gotta say, like I was also like I was eating it late at night because of the timing of the stream, so I saved some of the next morning. Both times when I had it like cooked in the fridge and took it out and reheated it, it still tasted fantastic. As good as like it tastes, almost as good as it tastes fresh. So if you're thinking, if you're the kind of person who likes to, they send you multiple servings, you like to cook it separate, that's great. It's gonna taste a little bit better that way. But it's still going to taste good if you decide to cook like all your servings at once and come back to it later.
Yep. I agree. It is a sweet thing to like kind of get. Alright, we got another question from Kate Harvey.
Yeah, so let me come back to that.
World, without worrying about money, where would you live? Where's your location of choice?
Are we taking family out of it? Because if family's not taken out of it, it's where I live right now. If you did, probably northern Florida. Close enough I could drive, or maybe Tennessee. I don't know. I like to be able to go to the ocean, but like we talk about like mountains. Florida, I love just like there's Disney World. I love the culture down there and everything about Florida. My kind of people. It's kind of like everything.
Florida is your kind of people?
It's everything I like about the South, but mixed with the kind of stuff I like about the North. But I love.
There's a lot of trash down there, though.
There is. I love Ohio. I live in Ohio right now. I would stay here my whole life. I'm very happy with it. Tennessee would be kind of another good middle ground, and I have the ocean there. But yeah, like I like having the lake. It has its perks. I just wish if it was a little bit warmer in Ohio, Ohio would be perfect.
The temperature that Ohio has is just right. You just don't get it.
Just right for most people. It's just I'm not most people.
Freeze, baby. We have another question. This one from PD.
Okay.
What is the worst food punishment you've had to do on stream so far?
What is the worst what?
Food punishment you've had to do on stream.
The garlic marshmallows.
That was that bad?
It was that bad. The spicy stuff at least kind of tasted good. It was just horrible. It was just horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty. That did look pretty not great for you.
Yeah. So, flour. Let me cut this open. Tomato paste and flour. It's taken a little bit too long to do this because of questions, but I'm sure it'll still come out alright. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit so we have more time between things. Just going to have a little bit extra toasty beef. The answer given this question earlier, I haven't burnt anything yet. I just haven't. It's going to be a little bit more well done than medium. That's another thing, up to taste. Cook it as you will. So we combine for about 1 minute, okay. What are we doing after that? Into pan with beef mixture. Into this pan? Or into another pan? Into this pan, okay.
Are you doing this sockless and shoeless right now?
Okay, Tarby and I already had a fight about this. There's no need to reopen old wounds.
No, I'm reopening. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm living my best life.
If Harvey said you're a psychopath for what you're doing right now, then she'd be correct.
Why would I wear socks in my own home?
Well, it's more on stream. I just wouldn't want my dogs out there, you know?
You got a foot prejudice? Is that what I'm hearing?
You want your feet on Feet Finder someday?
I'm alright.
Weird. I wouldn't want that.
It is what it is, man. I'd rather not be wearing socks that much.
Oh, Kate Tarby's gonna post your feet for money, by the way. Hope you're excited about that.
I hope I get royalties. That's my response to that.
I don't think she owes you royalties.
Who gets copyright?
You do need OnlyFans.
Don't talk about that kind of stuff on a sponsor stream, please, guys. A representative from HelloFresh has to watch this, so and decide whether or not they want to reward me for what we did here. So let's not.
Hey, Century, you want to say that again? He said. No, I'm kidding. Don't say it again.
So 10% of profits. I can work with that because I mean, I think that's something the law hasn't actually settled as to how much you own of your body in terms of like what your aesthetic. Like if you have pictures online, other people can use that. Like for most things, it's stuff you created, but like anything I create, I get automatic copyright on. But I didn't make my feet, so I don't know. That doesn't at least apply to that rule, but it'll kind of depend on the state and depend on the time period in American history as to whether or not like I own my face, for example. I forget. I can't speak.
Odd conversation to be having on your sponsored stream. Like whether or not you own the royalties to your feet.
I didn't bring it up. What did I think of?
They're just out, bro. They're just out.
What did I think about before going to sleep last night? So I try to always be literal about the fact that the last thing that I do when I go to bed is pray. And so I'll walk you guys through like what my nighttime prayer routine is. I have some that I do around kneeling down right on the edge of my bed, some that I do while I'm in bed. And it always helps me like pass out and go straight to bed. So there are things that I'll think about, partway through that. Part of prayer is meditating on one's own life, what's going on in it, the things one wants. That's probably the more interesting stuff. So we'll talk about that too. But it's gonna be a little bit different every night. It's always usually I pray a full rosary a day, so it has all 4 mysteries. So I'm at least doing one usually right before bed. Then what else do I do? I do most of my intercessions and consecrations in the morning. Oh, I read the Bible right before bed every night. Some points in my life I'll be doing it linearly. Some other times I'll be just praying and opening up to a random part of the Bible. Not reading it superstitiously as though the words exactly are being said to me, but the message, trying to apply the message to my current life of what I'm picking in the Bible. Same thing, I do that with Messages from Medjugorje. You guys know I'm big on that. Sometimes in some periods of my life it's been the Catechism too. I haven't been able to do that for time recently. So open all 3 of those, do the Rosary. What else do I do? Sometimes I'll be having to wrap up other prayers I meant to do throughout the day that I didn't get to do. Like today, I have to, normally around 3 o'clock hour, the hour in which Jesus died, I do a bunch of prayers related to the sorrows and the Passion, and one of those is devotion to Our Lady Mother of Sorrows. And so I got that to wrap up tonight. There's always, I got introduced to this through The Chosen, and I love them because it just it really connects you to the full body of Christ, and also really beautiful because they're based in the works of David and such. But the Old Testament, they're from old Jewish prayer books. Jesus in The Chosen wakes up every morning with a certain type of prayer, and he ends with a certain type of prayer. And so I look those up, and I pray those on my way when I wake up and when I go to bed. Those are the first and last things that come out of my mouth. And those are just wonderful. Those are totally life-changing. Gratitudes are another big thing. Try to do that at different periods of the day, but one of them is obviously right before bed. A few other things that might be in the in the midst of a novena. Right now I got some prayers I'm saying for my health. Another prayer just I really like. Prayer about storms going, both literal and emotional, mental. But yeah, so gratitude, stuff like that will be kind of, usually the gratitudes in the Jewish prayer will be the last thing I think of, right before I go to bed, right before I fall asleep, shut my eyes. But other than that, part of this is getting personal, so I guess I can go a little bit deeper, thinking about what I want to do with my life every time, in a good way. Every time St. Valentine's Day comes up, it makes me reevaluate the direction I'm going in my life. If I wanted to have a family, would I be able to do that? Where I'm going, keeping track of myself in that regard. How am I doing with my body? How am I doing with the amount of money that I'm making? What are my plans to go on from that? What would I want in a relationship if I had that? Those are the kind of things I was thinking of last night. Gotta keep moving here.
By the way, update. PB
Yep.
is 60% based.
PB is 60% based? Wonderful.
Yep. she's also got 30% love between the two of you, and she has an IQ of 80.
It's always the love, man. Can anyone else try doing !love me? Because for whatever reason, the AI, like the randomized generator, always destroys that. Hold on, my dad has to get in here, so I gotta mute it for a second. I can probably keep talking, but you just visually stand over here. Okay.
There's 79% love between you and Kate Harvey.
Wow.
Somebody must like her, but
I know.
not PB.
For some reason, we'll have to work it out. I'm going to see her in person next week. We'll have to work that out, like between the two of us. You know, we'll have to have a talk. We'll have to talk this out. But what's wrong in our friendship?
Yeah, PB. Figure that out with him. Why don't you love him so much? Here, I'm going to show exactly how much I love him right here.
He's just gonna do like.
Oh, I gotta do your name.
There we go. It's not a bad thing. It could be all me. It could be, you know, could be you're caring. You're like at 100%. I'm at like negative 70.
87%.
87%. Wow. Okay. Well, that's probably accurate. At least.
Get in line, ladies. He's taken.
All right. It ain't like that. It ain't that kind of love we're talking about.
I'm kidding.
Oh, romance on the brain.
It's Valentine's Day.
Right.
Take me on a date, big boy.
Uh-oh. No, I got no plans for Valentine's Day other than to stream.
That's about my place.
Might go to church. In the bachelor phase. Fun fact, never been on a date in my life. Never once happened before.
Pseudo dates.
What was that?
You know?
I've been on one
Like
suit.
pseudo dates.
I've been on one. That doesn't count really. Oh, I guess with the other girl. With the other girl we were thinking about it, but like it didn't. She wasn't really interested from the start, so I don't know if that count. Pink, wear pink or red, I will. We can all be alone together. That's called just being together.
Friendship.
Friendship. You know, the other beautiful thing about thinking of, you know, romance is all the things we talked about with friendship. Friendship can, you know, the same things, just deepened. Commitment, thinking about each other, being thoughtful, so on and so forth. But part of it too is a role. It's a responsibility to your spouse. It's a responsibility to your children. In a similar way you have with a friend, but they're deeper responsibilities with their own jobs attached to them. And that comes and goes throughout life, and you don't feel like you have to be, don't be stressed out about not having it. It'll come in its own time. You can have friends and so on and so forth. Between God and your friends, you have what you need to be happy. And it's important to get yourself there so that when you do have a relationship with someone, you can give it the time of day it needs without it having to be like them having to carry the same weight that all the other relationships in your life are supposed to carry too. And you can be more there for each other. You're still the biggest loser on the beach. W for you. What are you talking about, Sentry?
Like it's with SpongeBob episode.
Oh. Oof.
You know?
I get it.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure it's about the. I could be wrong. How it's SpongeBob episode.
Something else in the spirit of giving people hope. You know, I'm not.
You have an IQ of 6. Ha! Now that's.
No.
There's not much going on behind those eyes.
It's because I'm giving it all to y'all, okay? This is right as I'm about to like give advice too, as leading up to that.
No advice.
I'm not married, so I can't talk about like relationship advice. I have never had never successfully courted a woman. I can't give you guys really solid advice on that, other than what I hear. You know, everyone has valuable insights. We can all help each other through that stuff, but I can't like talk from a place of experience. So I just will focus on the thing I can talk about, and that's about finding hope, no matter what's going on. And right, like for one, if you're worried about like, am I good? You know, what does it mean about me that I don't have a partner? 90% of having a partner is circumstance. Okay, let's all remember that. There are plenty of people out there, people who even I know, who are in the category 6 foot tall, 6 figure, 6-pack, can't find a date to save their life. And I suppose that's a hard thing, but once you like accept it as just like something that's truly from God, that comes in its own time, that gives you time to grow as a person beforehand, to find security in yourself and in your other relationships, it can be a beautiful thing. And you kind of just, let it go, be patient, work on yourself, work on making yourself the kind of person who you'd want to have a relationship with yourself. But then don't be worried about it, because it's not your fault. You could be a straight 10 and you're to somebody. We all are more or less, there are some things we can all improve upon. We're not all 10s. But basically no one's a true 10, but it depends on how you define it. The point is,
no, you're not a 10.
You're worth loving. The point is we're all worth loving, and we're all going to be, we're all going to be the person that's the most beautiful person, the most handsome person in the world, to someone that they meet. And just give it time. Just be patient, ride it out, enjoy what you have, and look forward, plan to what's in the future. And look towards it with hope. It'll all come. When I was talking, working with my friend who's going through something really hard in his life right now, in a similar regard, one of the things I was talking to him about is this biblical concept of soon. We always kind of come back to like, oh, it's such a hard thing to accept. It's not, you don't have a solid time of knowing when something's going to come, and when something's going to happen, when something's going to come. But the reassurance we both get from God, and also from the other people in our lives, as other stories have, see other people's stories play out, is that what soon means is that even though it doesn't, in a good way, we don't know what's going to come precisely in the future, that we don't lose the beauties that come with surprise, the kind of growth. We don't make the same decisions we would if we knew what was coming in the future. And sometimes it is for the better. But it comes soon enough that the joy you're going to get from having the thing is greater than the burden of waiting. That's what soon really means, is that the happiness is going to overshadow this period of waiting. When we think about people in the Bible like Job, who was suffering for like maybe weeks, maybe months, and then went on to live like 30 years of joy, he didn't know when it was going to end. But what soon means is it's going to come in early enough, it's going to come at the right time, the time that really matters, that you're really going to need. We don't need to know the time or the date, but we know it's going to work out for good. And that's what we got to hold on to.
That's exactly right.
All right, we're just about done here. Yep, it's brown, so I just got to drain this thing and we're good to go. Guys, I'm so excited. Let's pull this out. The picture is not, as full as the thing, because I used a little bit of a smaller pan. Whoa! I'll respond to what K-Tarby said in a second. But look at that, and then look at this. It's pretty darn accurate. We don't have the same amount of light, and I kind of move the potato around. But I am so excited for this. I don't want to pour grease everywhere either. I'll just bring the camera over. We'll do that. That's easier. Also going to put a little bit more salt and pepper in there, just for my own taste. Look at this, guys. Kind of get this guy off to the side. So it will be, yours might look a little bit different. Say you didn't cook the meat as long as I did. You wanted a more medium rare type. Totally fine. You wanted your mashed potatoes a little bit browner, a little bit whiter. You can just change up how much time you cook at the end. Again, it's the beauty of those ranges. But if now that I dig this up, it says serve out of the pan. Let's kind of just stir this around a little bit, right? Because of that oil, it's all nice. Oh, I love it. That's the sign you did a good job for me always, is whether or not something sticks to the pan. And so our vegetables are nice and crispy the way I was intending them. But you can see, you can kind of get the carrot out of here. It's all nice and mixed into, which I love. All those flavors mixed together. Shepherd's pie, really, really one of the best things in the world. Apocryphal tales say that after the angels announced the coming of the Christ to the shepherds, they stayed afterwards for just some of this. Cannot, say this canonically the way it went, but that's my headcanon anyways. Shepherd's pie is heavenly. So I'm so looking forward to this. I'm going to eat a little bit on stream. I'm going to eat a little bit of it off stream in between. We're going to go online, play some games in a little bit here. I want to share this with my family. I'm going to bring some of that to stream as well. Let's just give it a one quick taste, and we'll talk about what K-Tarby just said there, and we'll finish up with that. So,
Yeah, 5K.
sign up for a 5K.
You sign up for a St. Patrick's Day 5K, which is a big commitment. You got it.
Yeah, I believe in you. Still a little bit hot.
Running's never been my thing, but I would like to do a 5K someday. Never a marathon, though. I think Nick was trying to convince me to do a marathon at one point. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening, bud.
Right. Make sure they can hear you. Look at this, guys. I'm just going to take one quick bite. It might be a little bit hot, so if I start bleeding or burning, you should have waited longer. This is your field test. That was perfect. Guys, I'm so proud. I'm so happy. That is awesome. Not only is it the fact that I'm not a great cook. I do okay at passable in Boy Scouts. I'm not going to destroy anything. But it's rare that I come up with a one in a million type meal. This is a 1 in a million type meal, and it's all the recipe, guys, and the ingredients. That was amazing. I could taste everything. I could taste the vegetable. I got the carrot in there, but I could taste the butter and the sour cream mixed into the mashed potatoes as well with that little bit of cheese on the side. But it wasn't so overpowering. I still couldn't get the juice and the fresh taste from the meat. That nice savory feel. The texture was perfect. It all went together. It wasn't too runny. Wasn't too hard. It wasn't really chewy. You can see I hardly chewed, but enough that it wasn't just it wasn't a drink. That was amazing. The seasoning too, the beef seasoning they gave us, all of it, stuff that I wasn't even sure about. I didn't know. I don't usually work with flour in recipes. By the time I'm making a recipe, flour's not a part of the equation. What am I doing with flour? They give me a flour packet, told me how to use it, worked out. So, guys, 10 out of 10. Once again, we got 2 more days about for the HelloFresh sponsorship to be up. If you'd like to do it, if you're interested, help the channel out so much. They're so generous with the amount of money they give us. They're asking $35 from the people who buy the box, and they're giving us $170 for that. They're so generous with them. It's so awesome. It helps the channel so much. We're very grateful for that. We're grateful to them for sticking with streamers in kind of these hard times. And so the meals are just wonderful. If you sign up again for a box, it's going to be about $35. It's a big discount from the $70. Gives you 6 meals plus free breakfast for life. And then you get to keep the recipe cards. You get to learn about ingredients, get to learn about cooking, and all in about the same amount of time it would take to even go out and kind of do something with your friends. And it ships to you fresh every week. Ingredients are going to be fresh. They're going to be right at your door. And even right now, I don't know, again, can't promise they're giving this out to everyone, but I thought it was just really cool and really generous to them that the boxes I've got, boxes like other people I know have gotten, have these 3 free boxes for friends as well. So it's really, they're so confident. Imagine being that confident in your product. I don't know if I'm that confident in the product that I make, that I would give, you get that, you get the full free experience for 3 people, plus you get pretty much 50% off discount, breakfast for life from one box. They're so confident you're going to stick around and make it worth their time for you paying for that. They're willing to give you all that stuff. And I got to tell you, the quality is really there. This is not my first box. This is box number 3 for me because I decided to keep going. I love it. So 10 out of 10 would recommend HelloFresh. Thank you guys so much for being here. I had a great time doing this Q&A. We got to do this again. even if not for a sponsor. I love talking to you guys. I love getting to know you. I love being able to go back and forth. I love our discussion segments. And it's cool to be doing something where like I'm not tied up mentally with the game. We got a little bit of that with cooking, but just enough to kind of keep me engaged as well. So love seeing you all here. Thank you so much for your support, for being here, and I hope you guys will join me later tonight as well when we get on to stuff like Among Us and other things in just a few probably like 15 minutes or so. I got to finish cleaning up my room, get the stream set up, talk to JLS, that sorts of things, but we'll be on soon. So as always, everyone, God bless, Godspeed, and good night.